Okay, this is a video from the Homegrown Homestead on angel wing or slipped wing in ducks, and we're looking at this species of Muscovy duck or Muscovy duck, and we have a couple examples here of different levels of this little issue. There's a lot of thought out there about why this occurs, and there probably are several different reasons. One of them could be a genetic reason, so if they have a predisposition for this to happen, it might just happen no matter what. If their incubation was at a weird temperature, or if some folks think it has to do with diet, either a diet that has too much calories or protein or not enough calories or protein. If there's something weird in the diet, then the growth of the wing and the growth of the feathers don't necessarily happen at the rates that they should. So essentially what's happening is that there's too much feather for the wing, and the weight brings it out. So this little black Muscovy, she's very skittish. Her name is Nightcrawler, but you can see that her feathers are coming out here. They're not developing in full the way that they would maybe normally. They're starting more with stalk, and then that's bringing her wing out. And so when she's lying down, these wingtips will actually almost be horizontal. And so if left untreated when they're young, it results in permanent damage. And so if you have domestic ducks like we do, it's not as big of an issue. They can totally live with it. But if they're a wild bird or they need to fly, then they're rendered flightless because of it. And thankfully, the treatment, if your time window looks good, is very easy. Essentially, it's just a matter of wrapping the wings close to the body, which is sometimes easier said than done, because your birds might be running around a lot. But basically, what I'm going to do right now is show you what that process looks like on another duck that's undergoing this procedure, and that's Thunder. That's the really large male black Muscovy duck. And so the materials that we're using here is a piece of t-shirt material, and this is a chicken harness. They actually make and sell these. We bought them totally as like not a joke, but just for fun, and it actually works really well to keep this wrap on. We haven't tried it without the harness. I'm sure it would be fine. If you have a larger flock, you might want to separate the bird until this treatment goes away, or until the treatment works. So basically what we're going to do is, the trick to a successful wrap is that it's not going to slip off. And so we found the best results. Oh, come on, dear. You've done this a few times. You're all right. 2 people makes this a lot easier. Although I'm going to try and show you how to do it with 1. We'll see how well he's participating here. So the first trick is to tie it underneath. If you tie it above, like if the knot is up here, then it tends to fall off and the wings come out and it doesn't do its job. So trick number 1, tie it down below. Trick number 2 is tie it a little bit closer to the head than you think it needs to be, and that way if it starts to slide down, it's not going to slide off. So the shape that we're using it's just kind of a strip. It's a little bit wider. The edge should probably lean towards the front because that's where we're tying it. So what we're going to do is trying to just get it up there, and he's tilting his head back, making it tricky. So I'm just tying a little knot with this former t-shirt, and I don't want it to too tight. If I hear that he's breathing funny, that's definitely not a good sign, but I'll just make sure that I can put my finger in there. And ducks are a lot of fluff, so you could probably tighten it a little bit more than you feel like has a good tension to their feathers, but you just don't want to suffocate them. So tie it just tight enough that it's keeping on. Make sure that the knot is tight, because they will find any way and movement to undo your work. So once that's like so, you can actually bring this up and make sure that the wings are where they need to be. If you can tuck them in like that, that's best, and then kind of slide this back over everything. Good boy, you're doing great. And then, to get this on, I can provide a link to where we got these in the description. Oh, come on, boyo. Don't be like that. There you go. Slides over the head this way. I try and get that knot on the outside so that it kind of helps to keep that on. And this is, I think, the largest size they have because Muscovy ducks are a pretty large bird. So I make sure that that's like so. One of his feet needs to go through, like this. Attaboy. And then the other strap, this is where he always loses me. I don't know why. He feels like we're done, and we're not. And then this clips on the back, like that. Gotcha. All right. So now, you just want to double check that everything is covering. If you want to engineer your piece to have more fabric down the sides here, I think that's probably a wise idea. Go ahead and experiment with that. I'd love to hear if you all have any success with different shapes. Someone mentioned just cutting a sleeve off and using that, but he actually walked right through a sleeve at some point. So I recommend tying it, even if it is a sleeve. And then what you want to do is keep this on pretty much all day for at least a couple days until you start to see results. What we're doing right now is just having him wear it during the night. Because he's gotten so much better. He really had just, like, they call it airplane wing too. He looked like this little airplane walking around with his wings going sideways, and now they look much better. So we're just keeping it on at night because that's kind of a calm time anyway, that the odds are better that it's going to stay on. So he'll be good for the night. This method's also pretty good because there's no diaper-esque part about it. He's free to let fly when he needs to, and it doesn't affect the wrapping. And then we'll be doing something similar with Nightcrawler, and I can try and remember to post an update video on her progress. So let me know if you have questions or comments, and thanks for watching. So just a quick little follow-up. So now we can see that one. Oh, well, there she goes. She's also wrapped up. So that was Nightcrawler, and that's Thunder. The other part of this equation is the diet. Check with your local feed store about what they recommend. I think I've heard of wheat and maybe alfalfa. Adding other just different sources of food to their diet can help balance things out. Fresh greens, fresh produce. Again, Muscovies are omnivores, so they should be getting a pretty balanced diet anyway, which means that it's probably just a genetic thing. But in case your ducks are just on a strict feed diet, it's recommended that you alter it just in case they aren't getting enough vitamins or if they're getting too much of carbs or protein. Thanks.